कुंज बिहारी।
जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी।
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी।
यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन।
यशोदानन्दन व्रजनरञ्जन।
यमुनातीरावनचारि।
यमुनातीरा
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे।
जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय।
जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय।
जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा श्रील प्रभुपादा।
जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा शिला प्रभुपादा।
जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा।
जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा।
निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। निताय गौरा हरि बोल।
नित्याय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल।
Bol.
Bol Nityai Gora Hari Bol.
जय जय ओम विष्णुपाद परम हंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर तथा श्री श्रीमद् अभय चरण अरविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की
Jai.
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की
Jai.
धर्म हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की
Jai.
गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि
Hari
हरि
Hari Bol.
all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Ad ki jai.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. Welcome to our ISKCON Brisbane's daily morning reading of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. All glories to our founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. I seek blessings from him, from my Guru Maharaj, and from our entire Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara, so I can glorify our today's very beautiful verse. So please, all of you, you all are very advanced devotees than me. So if I make any mistakes or if I make some improper expression, please forgive me. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. So we are reading from Canto 5, the creative impetus, and we started a new chapter yesterday, which is called Lord Rishabdev's teachings to his sons. So we know Supreme Lord himself, Rishabdev is Supreme Lord himself. He has appeared as the son of Maharaj Nabi, and we saw in the previous chapter, about his characteristics. Then we saw that he has 100 sons. They are all Kshatriyas by birth, but by their qualities, 10 of them, they turned out to be Kshatriyas. 9 of them, they turned out to be very exalted, advanced devotees, Mahabhagavatas. That means they are very authorized preachers of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And these 9 sons of Lord Rishabdev, they are the ones that are known as Nav-Yogendras, which are later described in the 11th canto. So 9 and 81 of them, they became perfectly qualified Brahmanas. So Lord Rishabdev, he ruled the kingdom. His father, King Nabi, he enthroned him, and after which Lord Rishabdev ruled according to the religious principles. Varnashram Dharma he followed. He accepted Jayanti as his wife, and they had 100 sons. And in his rule, the Praja was very prosperous. They were completely satisfied. And then near the retirement, he was touring the world along with his 100 sons. And then he reached a place called Brahmavarta. And that place was very special because at that time, when he reached there, one of the verses in previous chapter, it says that Brahmarshi Pravara Sabhayam. What was going on in Brahmavarta? A great assembly of Brahmarshis, very best of the Brahmanas and sages. A sabha was going on, and his citizens were also there. So Lord Rishabdev chose that assembly to give the most valuable instructions to his already very qualified sons, already very well-behaved sons. He chose that assembly to instruct them. So before he gives up his throne for the next generation, he thought he will pass on his teachings. So that is what this chapter is. We are going to see in this chapter from verse 1 to 27, Lord Rishabdev, he instructs his sons, and like his Praja was very fortunate that they happened to be there in that Sabha. We are also here, by mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we are also here. We are also very fortunate that we will also hear all these instructions of Lord Rishabdev to his 100 sons. And these instructions, they are called Bhagavat Dharma. Bhagavatam says, Dharmam tu Shakshat Bhagavat Pranitam. Whatever Supreme Personality of Godhead says, that is Dharma. So some of his instructions he gives, they are for Grihasthas, some are for parents, rulers, gurus, some are very relevant to all the ashramas, and some are very specific to some very serious devotees who want to progress on the path back to Godhead. and some who are very prepared to renounce everything. So very beautiful instructions. And today we're going to read verse 2, the second instruction to his sons. So I'll share the verse on the screen there. Ooh, where did it go? This screen. This. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiraye nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktirvavati naishtiki Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. So once again, we have some verses that we can recite. So we're very happy. So we'll recite the verse. Mahat sevam dvaram. Sorry, I'm trying to remember the tune. Mahat sevam dvaram ahur vimuktes.
Mahatsevam dvaram mahur vimukte
Tamodvaram yoshitam sangi sangam.
Tamodvaram yoshitam sangi sangam
Mahantaste samah chittah prashanta.
Mahantati chitta samachitta shanta
Viman vayah suhradah sadhavoye.
Viman yavaha suradah sadhavoye
Would any devotees like to recite, please?
Mahadevam dwaram ahur vimuktas
Mahatsevam dvaram ahur vimukte
Tamo dwaram joshitam sangi sangam
Tamodvaram
Tamodvaram
yoshitam
sangi
sangi
sangam.
sangam
Mahantaste samachitta prashanta
Mahantate samchitta prashanta
Prashanta.
Vimanya vasuhridya sadhavoye
Viman
Viman
vayah
vayahasuradah sadhuvoye Mahatsevam dvaram ahur vimukte
Mahatsevam dvaram ahurvimukte.
Vimuktas
Tamodvaram yoshitam sangi sangam
Tamodvaram yoshitam sangi sangam.
Sangam
Mahantaste samchitta prashanta
Mahantaste samachitah prashanta.
Viman yavahasuradah sadhavoye
Viman vayah
Vasuhrida
suhridah
sadhavoye
Let's go to word. Mahat Sevam,
Mahatsevam
service to the spiritually advanced persons called Mahatmas.
service to the spiritually advanced persons called Mahatmas.
Dvaram,
Dwaram,
the way.
The way
Ahuhu,
Ahu,
they say.
they say.
Vimuktehe,
Vimukte
of liberation.
of liberation.
Tamaha Dvaram,
Tamahadwaram,
the way to the dungeon of a dark, hellish condition of life.
the
the way to the dungeon
dungeon
of a dark, hellish condition of life.
Yoshitam,
Yoshitam,
of women.
of women.
Sangi,
Sangi,
of associates.
of associates.
Sangam,
Sangam,
association.
association.
Mahantaha,
Mahanta,
highly advanced in spiritual understanding.
highly advanced in spiritual understanding.
They,
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 Samachittaha,
Samchittaha,
persons who see everyone in a spiritual identity.
persons who see everyone in a
in
spiritual
a spiritual
identity.
identity.
Prashantaha,
Prashanta,
Prashanta,
very peaceful, situated in Brahman or Bhagwan.
very
very
peaceful, situated in Brahman or
Brahman or
Bhagavan.
Bhagwan.
Vimanvayaha,
Vimanvayaha,
without anger.
without
Without
anger.
And Srila Prabhupada makes a point to put in bracket, one must distribute Krishna consciousness to persons who are hostile without becoming angry at them. Suhradaha,
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 well-wishers of everyone.
well-wishers of everyone.
everyone.
Sadhavaha,
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 qualified devotees,
qualified
qualified
devotees.
devotee,
without abominable behavior.
Without
without
abominable behavior.
Ye,
Ye,
they who.
they who.
Translation and purport by Krishna Kripamurti, His loving divine grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
One can attain
One can attain
the path of liberation from material bondage
the path of liberation from material bondage
only by rendering service
only by rendering service
to highly advanced spiritual personalities.
to highly advanced spiritual personalities.
These personalities are impersonalists and devotees.
These personalities are impersonalists and devotees.
Whether one wants to merge into the Lord's existence
Whether one wants to merge into the Lord's existence
or wants to associate with the personality of Godhead,
or wants to associate with the personality of Godhead,
one should render service to the Mahatmas.
one should render service to the Mahatmas.
For those who are not interested in such activities,
For those who are not interested in such activities,
who associate with people fond of women and sex,
people fond of women and sex,
the path to hell is wide open.
the path to hell is wide open.
The Mahatmas are equipoised.
The Mahatmas are equipoised.
They do not see any difference
They do not see any difference
between one living entity and another.
between one living entity and another.
They are very peaceful
They are very peaceful
and are fully engaged in devotional service.
and are fully engaged in devotional service.
They are devoid of anger
They are devoid of anger
and they work for the benefit of everyone.
and they work for the benefit of everyone.
They do not behave in any abominable way.
They do not behave in any abominable way.
Such people are known as Mahatmas.
Such people are known as Mahatmas.
Purport, please hear. The human body is like a junction. One may either take the path of liberation or the path leading to a hellish condition. How one can take this path is described herein. On the path of liberation, one associates with Mahatmas. And on the path of bondage, one associates with those attached to sense gratification and women. There are two types of Mahatmas, the impersonalist and the devotee. Although their ultimate goal is different, the process of emancipation is almost the same. Both want eternal happiness. One seeks happiness in impersonal Brahman and the other seeks happiness in the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As described in the first verse, Brahma Saukhyam. Brahman means spiritual or eternal. Both the impersonalist and the devotee seek eternal blissful life. In any case, it is advised that one become perfect. In the words of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 22.87, Asat Sanga Tyagai Vaishnavachara Stri Sangi Ek Asadu Krishna Bhakta Ara. To remain unattached to the modes of material nature, one should avoid associating with those who are asat, materialistic. There are two kinds of materialists. One is attached to women and sense gratification, and the other is simply a non-devotee. On the positive side is association with Mahatmas, and on the negative side is avoidance of non-devotees and women hunters. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitan Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, in the previous verse, Rishabdev uses a word tapodivyam, austerity. So he was glorifying, he was telling us the importance of austerity. So he said that in the human life, human life is not for sense gratification, but it is for austerity in the devotional service. So it is this human body that gives the soul the opportunity to do that. And in other forms of life, soul cannot do that. So that the first verse, it tells us what to do. And the second verse, it tells us how to do. It says, Mahat Sevam Dwaram Ahur Vimuktes. Service to the Mahatmas opens the doors to liberation. Second line, Tamodvaram Yoshitam Sangi Sangaha. Whereas the association with womanizers, that opens the doors to hellish conditions of life. And then he gives us a list of a few of the qualities of such Mahatmas. So they are in the third line says, Mahantasti samachittaha prashantaha. Samachittaha, equipoised. They are prashantaha, they are peaceful. Vimanvayaha, they are devoid of anger. Suhridaha, they are friendly to all. And sadhavaho, best of all, they are sadhus, they are qualified devotees. So this is the verse. Rishabdev is talking about two kinds of doors. Two doors that are completely opposite to each other. I came across an image I will share. So it shows us the two kinds of doors Rishabh Dev is talking about. So these two doors are completely opposite to each other. One is Tamodwaram. This door is taking you to the darkness of ignorance. If you want to enter into the darkest regions of ignorance, then you go this way. You associate with those who are attached to sense gratification. The word used by Rishabh Dev in the verse is Yoshidam, which means women. That's the word he used, but the idea is that those who love to associate with opposite gender. So what does it indicate about them? In simple words, they think that they are the body, so they are attached to their own body. So they want to do activities that give pleasure to the body. So association with these people is going to open the door to hellish conditions of life. So the choice is yours. You want to go this way, the choice is open. Or there is another door. This another door that takes us to mukti. First line of the verse. Mahat sevam dwaram ahur vimukti. So this door takes us to vimukti. If you want to attain the perfection, then you associate with Mahatmas. And Mahatmas, Prabhupada says in the purport, Mahatmas can be two types. So they can be impersonalists or they can be devotees. But the thing is not just their association. The word Rishabh Dev has used is service to the Mahatmas, Mahat Sevam. So not just meeting them, serving them. So what it does, it opens the doors to liberation. How? Because such Mahatmas, they have divine qualities, they are equal to all the souls, they are peaceful, they are friendly, and they don't find faults in others. So when you associate with such people, when you serve them, then you will get influenced by their qualities, you will get their blessings. But for that, you will have to follow the instructions. Their instructions and follow the instructions, the last instruction of Bhagavad Gita, which is surrender. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam. So you will have to surrender. You cannot, render service to some person unless you surrender to them. So that is the first condition of Mahat Seva, surrender. So Rishabh Dev in this verse, basically he's giving us these two doors and the qualities of the people, the Mahatmas on this path, the path leading to liberation. I will stop sharing there. So that was the verse, and this is the two kind of doors Rishabh Dev is talking about here. And then in the purport, Srila Prabhupada gives us more clarity on these Mahatmas. So Prabhupada says such Mahatmas also, they are of two types. They can be impersonalists. They can be, their goal can be the Brahman feature of the Supreme Lord. Or they can be the devotees, or they are worshippers of the Bhagwan feature of the Supreme Lord. That means they are worshipping the personal form of the Supreme Lord. They are personalists. So impersonalist and personalist. Mahatmas can be of two types. And they both have similar qualities that are mentioned in the verse, in the second, in the last two lines. So among these two types of Mahatmas, devotees are superior. And then more of their qualities are given in the next verse. So now, this verse, second verse is it has a connection with the previous verse. In the previous verse, 551, Rishabh Dev mentioned Brahma Saukyam, which means bliss. So spiritual happiness. And because there are two types of Mahatmas, the bliss, the Brahma Saukyam that they experience is also of two types, personal and impersonal. Okay, so the bliss, the eternal happiness, they are aiming for, both of them are aiming for, it is of these two types. Personalists are seeking for happiness in the association of Supreme Personality of Godhead, and impersonalists are seeking happiness in merging with the impersonal Brahman. But basically, we are all searching for happiness. Because as spirit souls, our nature, we are by nature blissful. That is our original nature. Krishna is Satchitananda Vigraha, and we are parts and parcels of Krishna. So by nature, we are also blissful. In Vedanta Sutra 112, it says Anandamayo Bhasyat. So that it describes how is the supreme absolute truth? How is it? What are the qualities? So he is Anandamaya. He is full of bliss. And Abhyasat, he has the Abhyas. He has the practice. His nature is of being happy only. Bliss is his inherent nature. And because the supreme absolute truth is Anandamayo Bhasyat, we being parts and parcel of that supreme absolute truth as spiritual souls, we are also by our true nature, we are blissful only. But then we will think, are we, in our condition, our current condition, are we blissful? No. And that is why we are always searching for happiness. And I will just share a story. Once there was an old woman, so she had to travel somewhere. She didn't have many valuables, she just had 2 gold rings and she wanted to keep them safe until she comes back. So, she kept thinking, where should I keep these rings securely, So she was thinking like this, and then she just happened to look in the sky. And there was a very nice cloud in the shape of a camel. So she thought that, yes, this will be a good landmark. Let me bury my rings directly beneath that camel-shaped cloud. So she hid her rings in the sand. But when she came back, obviously the cloud was gone. So she couldn't find her rings. So, we see different versions of this story. But, sometimes we look for the right things in the wrong places. We want the lasting happiness, we want peace, we want fulfillment. Bliss is our inherent nature. So we are looking for it. But we are looking for it in the temporary material circumstances or in people. And we cannot find happiness because we are associating our happiness with matter. But by nature, we are spiritual, we are superior to matter. And we cannot be, and we can only be happy in the spiritual atmosphere. The true happiness only comes when we are in the spiritual atmosphere. That's when we feel at home. And that is why our dear Srila Prabhupada has established this International Society of Krishna Consciousness to give people like us the chance to associate with Mahatmas like him. And by their association, to learn the process of devotional service, Tapodivyam, as he says in the first verse, and we achieve the bliss, the unlimited spiritual bliss. Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Gnanavanam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. So this word Mahatma comes in many verses in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. So in Bhagavad Gita, in this verse, Bahunam Janmanam Ante, Krishna is saying that after many, many births and deaths, one who is actually wise, Gnanavan, what they will do is they will surrender to me, knowing me to be the source of everything. And such a Mahatma, Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha, such a Mahatma, Krishna says, such a great soul is very rare. Srila Prabhupada has, he has commented that all of his disciples and followers who have surrendered to Krishna exclusively. They are all Mahatmas. And they are not just ordinary Mahatmas. There are two types of Mahatmas described. He is described in the purport, right? So they are not those who have surrendered to Krishna. They are not ordinary Mahatmas. Because we see, by certain definition, even an impersonalist can be called a Mahatma. But the devotees are the very rare Mahatmas. Sudurlabha, the Mahatma Sudurlabha. So, who is a Mahatma? Who is Mahat Atma, great soul? So this verse 552, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 552, it is saying that surrender begins from Mahat Seva, surrendering unto a great personality. But who is a great personality? How do we identify them? Generally, Mahat means great, but how does a common man become a great man? When he comes in contact with something greater, so the supreme great. So God is great, and if you come in contact with God and godly people, then you also become great. So that is the idea given in Bhagavad Gita. In Bhagavad Gita, verse 9.13, Krishna says, Mahatmanam stumam partha daivim prakrutimashritah bhajanti ananya manaso gnatva bhutadim. So Krishna also says, who are Mahatmas? He teaches Arjuna who is Mahatma. He says that, O son of Pritha, those who are always under the protection of Daivim Prakritam Ashrita, they are always under the protection of the divine nature of mind. So the first sign, first symptom of a Mahatma is that he is already situated in the divine nature. He is not under the control of the lower material nature of Krishna. He is already situated in the divine nature, Daivim Prakriti Mashritaha. And how has he achieved this? That Krishna has explained in another verse in Bhagavad Gita 7.14, very popular verse. We mention, refer to it every now and then. Where Krishna says that Daivi Yesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mameva Ye Prapadyante Maya Metam Taranti Te. That one who surrenders unto me, a Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, at once that person becomes free from the control of material nature. So that is the first symptom of a Mahatma, first sign of a Mahatma. He is not under the influence of material nature, Prakruti, the three gunas. And what is the result? He becomes Ananya Manaso. They have undeviated loving devotion to Krishna. Why? Because Gnatva Bhutadim Avyayam. They know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Bhut Adim. He is the Adi, the origin of all bhutas, all souls. He is our source. And that is why he is our destination also. So for us, the task is twofold. We need to do two things. We are taking association of Mahatmas, and in order to fulfill Srila Prabhupada's desire and mission, we need to actually sincerely also try to be Mahatmas, and then people will benefit from our association. So we need to try to develop these qualities that Mahatmas have, and in this verse, some of the qualities of Mahatmas are listed: Samachittaha, Prashanta, Vimanvaya, Surida, Sadhu, and the list continues in the next verse. Even in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, while he was instructing Sanatana Goswami, he gives a list of 26 qualities of a great devotee. And Her Grace Jamuna Mataji, she recently, not long ago, she gave a class on the 26 qualities of a great devotee, and it was really worth listening. Every line of that class was worth listening and meditating on. So basically, Sanatan Chaitanya Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gives a list of 26 qualities of a great devotee Mahatma. But our Vaishnava Acharyas explained that out of these 26 qualities, one is the most essential, and that is Krishnaika Sharana, one who has taken shelter of Krishna Eka, Krishna only, Krishna Eka, nobody else. No? And Mamekam Sharanam, Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita 18.66, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishyami Ma Shuchaha. He says, abandon all varieties of dharma and surrender to Mamekam, surrender to me only. So exclusive shelter of Krishna. So if Mahatma, even if he has that one quality, Krishnaika Sharanam, then even if he lacks the perfection in the other 25 qualities, he is still considered a Mahatma or a sadhu. But even if he has the other 25 qualities, but he lacks this one qualification of Krishnaika Sharana, if they are looking for shelter in anything or anyone else other than Krishna, then that is not considered a Mahatma. Our Guru Maharaj, in his last message to us, he said that after my physical departure, when you're looking for guidance, you always take shelter at the lotus feet of Vaishnavas, at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj also, he also instructed his disciples to always remain in ISKCON. Because at least, in principle, all of the devotees who have surrendered to Krishna through Srila Prabhupada and Parampara, they are Mahatmas. Prabhupada has also said that they are sadhus. Their association should be sought. We should engage in their service, and by doing so, we will progress on the path of liberation. So, yes, I know that, we are all work in progress. We are all devotees in making. Sometimes we may come across some devotees that bring out the bad side of us, that expose our own shortcomings, and we may want to have a limited association with them. But as soon as we try to leave the association of devotees, try to go back to our older association, our older friends, then we will realize the importance of devotee association. Then we will miss the devotees. And, we will say, very often this line is said that spiritual life is difficult, but material life is impossible. Then we will think, api chetsu duracharo bhajanti mamanatya ananya bhag sadhu reva samantavya samyak vyavastito hi sa. That even if one commits the most abominable action, if Krishna says if he is engaged in the devotional service, then he is to be considered sadhu, saintly only, because he is properly situated. He is samyak vyavastito. In what? In his situated, properly situated in his determination to his bhakti to Supreme Lord Krishna. So at least they have Krishnaika Sharana, the most essential quality. So as long as we remain in the association of the devotees, then we will have the opportunities to serve the Supreme Lord. And that is what we should focus on, and not on the shortcomings of other devotees. So, not, carry the list of 26 qualities and go around assessing other devotees, how many out of 26 they take. His Holiness Keshav Swami Maharaj, once someone asked him at the end of a class that, we always glorify Sadhu Sangha, devotee association in ISKCON. But, sometimes we come across some, who are not sadhus, and then we risk taking our own consciousness down too. So Maharaj said, yes, that is not incorrect, but no matter what, there are pure devotees also in ISKCON. So as Vaishnavas, we should be gunagrahi. We should be the ones who accept the gunas, the good qualities in the devotees, and we should be a doshadarshi, one who does not dwell upon their faults. So by remaining in the shelter of Srila Prabhupada, by remaining in this institution, we get plenty of opportunities for Mahat Seva. We do meet Mahatmas. At least we are serving Srila Prabhupada, who is, no doubt, who is the Mahatma that this verse is describing. So, now the question for us is, how do we for us, how does one develop the qualities of a Mahatma in themselves? Or, one could say, how does one become a Mahatma? So the answer is simple. The answer is by serving another Mahatma, one can become Mahatma, Mahat Seva. That is the crux of today's verse. So this is the process of devotional service. This is the process of parampara. That is our goal. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Dasa, Dasan, Dasa. So one serves his or her spiritual master, who is a Mahatma. Then the spiritual master in turn, who is also serving his spiritual master, that is a Mahatma, who is serving their spiritual master, who is a Mahatma, and all the way back to Krishna. So in this way, by serving Mahatmas, Mahat Seva, we can also become Mahatmas. We can also become qualified as great souls. And, yes, in today's verse, it says that association of those who have material attachments. Yoshitam Sangi Sangam. It says that this association with materialistic people is very risky. We saw in that image that door is taking us to the asatma, dark dungeons of ignorance. And there is another verse, a very nice verse, a very similar verse that also comes in third canto, where Kapil Muni is instructing to Devahuti. The verse is Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 3:25-20. So it says that every learned man knows very well that attachment to material is the greatest entanglement of the spirit soul. But the same attachment, if it is applied to the self-realized devotees, that attachment to devotees, it opens the doors for liberation. Sa eva sadhu shukruto moksha dwaram apavritam. And in today's verse says, Mahat Svevam dwaram ahur vimuktes. Serve the Mahatmas, and that service will take you to the royal road of liberation. So attachment to a devotee is attachment to the service of the Lord, because that is what a devotee is doing. So we are attached to a devotee, that means we are attached to the service of the Lord, because sadhu is not going to tell us that, oh, you do this totka and you will get more money, you do this, you will get a life partner you want, you do this and your son will get a good job. That is not a sadhu, that we can call some babajis. Many such babajis are there. In yesterday's class we were discussing, people get very easily drawn to them because they can do tricks, or they can tell your future, or the process that they tell you to follow. That process is very, very easy. There are not many restrictions, or there are not any restrictions. So that is not a sadhu, one who gives us instructions on how to improve the material conditions of our life. But the real sadhu, real Mahatma, if one associates with a sadhu, then he will teach us that how to become a devotee, how to become a worshipper, and a sincere servitor of the Lord. We see Srila Prabhupada, we are very grateful to Srila Prabhupada, who no doubt was a Mahatma of the type Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is describing in today's verse. We never seen any of his letters or classes or the talks that he did while he walked with the devotees. We don't see anywhere that he is instructing his disciples on how to improve their material life. He is teaching undeviated surrender to Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna only. So he is a sadhu, he is a Mahatma. And of course, Srila Prabhupada was a shocking Mahatma. He shocked many people because he spoke, these teachings, the teachings of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. He spoke these teachings very clearly, very straightforwardly, no sugarcoating, just like Rishabh Dev is doing. Generally, people might think that sadhu is someone who is who has a very dreamy expression on their face and simply smiles, radiates a beautiful smile all the time and always speaks soothing, sweet words, and tell us some inspiring stories. And in their presence, everyone feels nice, but we are very grateful that Srila Prabhupada was not that kind of make you feel good kind of Swami. Many of his disciples have said that, in the beginning when Prabhupada started, when he was giving classes, I met one very old devotee in the farm of the devotee couple, and I was talking to the Mataji, and Mataji said that when they were in Sydney, they first heard that the man who has seen God is coming. So they were very curious and they went to listen to Prabhupada's class lecture. And they said they could not hear a word Prabhupada was saying because even though he was speaking in English, his heavy Bengali accent, they couldn't understand a thing. But just by being in his presence, they became devotees. So Prabhupada was not, that kind of make you feel good kind of Swami, but he was very practical. He took this torchlight of the Bhagavatam and then he focused it in such a way that that pinpoints the disease of material life from which we are all suffering, from which the whole civilization is suffering. And Prabhupada was so fierce that, in his writings and his letters, many times he uses the word rascal, but if the approach, if the behavior is rascal, then he will call you rascal. But, at the same time, as the today's verse also says, Samachitta, he treated everyone, all souls, as equally as servants of Krishna. And, no matter what the noise was saying, that they are malechas, they are yavanas, they are the ex-meat eaters and whatnot, But in Srila Prabhupada's eyes, they were all, we are all Krishna's children. And he was prashanta, peaceful, tolerant, merciful, friendly to all living beings. And he has no enemies. He abides by the scriptures and all his characteristics. They match the description of Mahatma. They're all sublime. And also in today's verse, there is another quality, Vimanvayaha. That literally means, one who is devoid of anger. But when Prabhupada translates in the word to word, if we see, when Prabhupada translates the word Vimanvayaha, he does not stop there. He does not just say devoid of anger and leave there. He says, one must distribute Krishna consciousness to persons who are hostile without becoming angry at them. So that is the real meaning of a Mahatma having the quality of Vimanvaya. So, that is what Bhagavatam is describing, and Srila Prabhupada was all of that, during the time when Srila Prabhupada and ISKCON was going through the great struggle to get the land in Juhu in Mumbai in India. At that time, each evening Srila Prabhupada was giving lectures on third canto, Lord Kapila's instructions on bhakti to Madate Bhuti. So, in Juhu, there was a whole there was a whole group. There were some people who were very envious. They were greedy. They wanted the land, and they were hostile. They were very aggressive. So Srila Prabhupada was referring to them, and he said that I have come here to help the people of Bombay because people are absorbed in the animal propensities, eating, sleeping, mating, defending, and they have no sense of God consciousness. They have lost it, and they are suffering. And so Paradukhe Dukhi, Vaishnava is Paradukhe Dukhi. He feels sorry for the sorrow of others. So that's why Prabhupada tries to relieve them by preaching Krishna consciousness to them. But people are such, some people are such that they don't like to hear the words of sadhus. They are envious. So at that time, people were spreading all sorts of rumors about the disciples of Prabhupada, the foreign devotees. They were saying things like, oh, they are American spies, they are CIA. So, someone asked Srila Prabhupada, one of his disciples at the end of a class asked Srila Prabhupada that what should we do, and Prabhupada said, what is to be done, Titiksha. What else can you do? Tolerate all their nonsense and then go on with our mission. So, and Srila Prabhupada's well-wishers, they told him that, you have 100 centers all over the world. If if the people of Bombay are not receptive, if they do not like the teachings, then you can leave Bombay. You don't have to stay here and struggle for this one temple. You don't have to do that. But Prabhupada said, no, we will not go because Karunika. Because sadhu is merciful also. Sadhu walks on a two-edged sword. First, he has to be titikshava, tolerate all the nonsense, but at the same time, on the same people, the aggressors, sadhu has to be karunika also. He has to have mercy for the fallen souls who haven't got the Krishna consciousness yet. So when we see this word Mahat Seva, being glorified again and again in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, we may become anxious that where will I meet this Mahatma, whom I can surrender? Where will I find this Mahatma, him or her, So, it's said that Krishna is more eager to bring us back home, back to Godhead, than we can imagine. So, Brahmanda Brahmide Kona Bhagyavana Jeva Guru Krishna Prasade Bhaya Bhakti Ladavesh. So, Krishna sends the Guru. And otherwise, most of the people, they are not even interested in on our own. If Prabhupada somehow didn't reach to us, if his books or teaching didn't reach to us on our own, we were not going to be interested in going back to Godhead. In fact, I didn't even hear this word go back to Godhead before, So what's our qualification? We have no qualification, There's a verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila in the chapter, the talks between Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramanand Rai. So in there, there is a verse which is originally from Yamunacharya's Stotra Ratna 43. So that verse says, Bhavantam evanucharan nirantaraha prashant nisheshaha manoratantaraha kadahamaikāntika nitya kinkaraha praharshayishyami sanatha jivitam. So that word sanatha. So Lord Ramanand Rai says to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that Bhavantam evanucharan nirantaraha. By serving you nirantara, Bhavantam, O Bhagavan, O Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by serving you nirantara constantly, two things are going to happen to me. Prashantaha, I will become completely peaceful, and Nisheshaha manorathantaraha. The manoraths, the desires, the material desires, and the chariot of these material desires that they take my mind everywhere, I will become nishesha. Nishesha manorathantara. I will become free from all the material desires. Kadaha. When will the day come when ekantika Nitya Kinkaraha. When will the day will come when I will become, you will accept me as your exclusive, eternal Nitya Kinkara, eternal servant. Praharshayishyami. I'm waiting for that day and I'm going to rejoice that day. Rejoice what? Praharshayishyami Sanath Jevitam. Because that day I will become Sanatha. So this is a very important word, Sanatha. It's a very important goal to become Sanatha and remain Sanatha. Nath means master and Sanatha means one who has a master. So the goal of life is to become Sanatha, to have a master whom we can serve and whom we can whom we can serve and they can care for us and protect us. And of course, the supreme master is Krishna, but through spiritual master, we can serve supreme master. And so Sanatha, and there is another word, Anatha, which literally means, in one dictionary translation, it will mean orphan, one who has no master. So Srila Prabhupada was in Juhu in Mumbai, and as usual, he was talking. He was taking a walk, and his disciples were following him. And at this time, he was on the Juhu beach with his disciples. And Srila Prabhupada mentioned that verse, that Yamunacharya verse, he was also. Prabhupada said that that was also spoken by Dabir Khas and Sakar Malik, who later became Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. When they met when they first time met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they also said these words. They also wanted Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to accept them as his servants, to become their Nath. So Srila Prabhupada was saying that if someone does not have a master to serve, then he is an orphan. And then Prabhupada pointed out to some dogs on the Juhu beach. They were very strong, very stout. There was a very stout and strong gentleman. He was walking on the beach, and he was very well built. He was wearing a white shirt and white short pants, and he had a very nice dog on a leash, and the dog was also very stout and strong. And the man and the dog, they were both walking very confidently on the Juhu beach. So Srila Prabhupada explained that the dogs who have masters, they are very peaceful and they are very happy because they know that I have my master who is going to take care of me. I don't have to worry about anything. So Srila Prabhupada said that, and then he showed some street dogs that, they were very thin and messy and skinny. So Prabhupada said, these poor fellows, they're always in anxiety. They don't know where they're going to spend the night. They don't know where they will get the food. Children are gonna hit them with the stones, and the bigger dogs, they will attack them. So they're always the anath dogs. They're always in anxiety because they have no master to look after them. So then Prabhupada brought this example on the result. What is the result of becoming Sanatha, of having a master and being in the shelter of a Mahatma? The result is Prashanta. One becomes peaceful and one becomes free from the material desires. I was going to share a nice story. His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj shared, but it's kind of a long story. But basically says, how we always delay taking the shelter of a Mahatma. I'll quickly try to say it anyway. So this story comes from Vallabh Sampradaya. It's about Vittalnath, the son of Vallabhacharya. So he was a very empowered preacher, and he had many disciples, and he had a rule that every day he will initiate at least one disciple. So Vittalnath, he once initiated a man and invited him to Gokul for yatra because that at that time that's where the Gadi, the seat for Vallabh Sampradaya was. But the man that time said, no, I just got married, I can't leave my bride alone. I'll come later. And the next time when he asked, he said, well, I just had a son. Let my son grow up a little bit. Let me get him settled. Then I will come. Then, the Guru Vittalnath, he gave the responsibility of this Grihastha to another renunciant and told him, so you must make sure to deliver this soul. So then this sannyasi, he came to him, and the son was grown and settled. And then he said, let's go now. Then the man said, no, I want to have a grandson. Let me at least see my grandson. Then grandson came. Then he said, let me play with my grandson. So always he was postponing, following the order of his guru. And next time the sannyasi came, he was no more, but there was a snake in the courtyard. And sannyasi, with his spiritual vision, he could see that this is the same man who has come in the body of a snake in this house, because he was so attached to the house. And then he told the snake, come, now you should come with me, follow me all the way to Gokul. But the snake said, no, I'm protecting my family's treasure. So I didn't go. Next time sannyasi came, the snake wasn't there. The man had changed the bodies from, snake. He had become a dog now. And sannyasi came, said, come now. And then dog says, no, there are many thieves and rogues, and, they are attacking my family. I have to protect my family. So I will remain here as a dog. And then at last, he became a bug living in the drain. And then the sannyasi said, now you come. And the bug said, no, it's actually quite nice here in the drain. Remnants of the food are coming down the drain and I get to eat them. What else do I need? It's very nice. I'm very satisfied. So, at this time, sannyasi, was very determined, didn't leave him. So he caught the bug, placed him in his kamandal with water and took him to Gokul. And then he brought him the bug before Vittalnath. And Vittalnath said that, all right, put him in Yamuna. And the bug was placed in Yamuna and was delivered. So, this is the difference between being anatha and sanatha. So somehow, by the mercy of Mahatmas, this man who was so determined to not be sanatha, even against his own will, he was delivered. We'll try to conclude here. Last night we were in a weekly class, Chaitanya Charitamrita class, and His Grace Shyamanand Prabhu was saying, he was giving a very nice analogy that we are in this movement. It's like a super fast lift taking us to the 100th floor to Golok Vrindavan, and the only job we have to stay in this lift. Don't fight with anyone on the lift, just be there. Being that, it doesn't mean just externally connected, but it means to remain in the devotional association, continue our sadhana, hear, serve, follow the instructions of Prabhupada, our Guru, avoid offenses, and if we make any offenses, regret, repent after them, and not allow any misunderstandings with other devotees drive us away. So our duty is just to be in the lift. And then Srila Prabhupada's promise is there. Yes, it is hard, serving with other devotees, being consistent in our sadhana. It's hard for us. But if we think, from Krishna's point of view, Lakshmi Sahasrasata Sevyamana, he doesn't need our service, but when he sees that, no, this person was there on the lift on the first floor, then he is there on the 25th floor, he is there on the 50th floor, and the 100th floor, he's there. At least he is trying. So Krishna notices our sincere perseverance, and one day he will grant us, he will grant us his mercy, he will glance at us, and that will be the day when we pass the GEE, the Goloka entrance exam. So that is our only hope, that is our only qualification, the mercy of our spiritual master, mercy of Srila Prabhupada, mercy of Vaishnavas, and mercy of Krishna. So there is a lot more to say, but there is very little time. So I'll stop here. If anyone has any corrections to make, any additions, any realizations you had while hearing this, please share.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Shalendra here. Yes, pranam. And yesterday was Guru Purnima. I was thinking I've been hearing these classes for more than a year now. I do thank you, and thank you all the speakers for imparting this knowledge. My question sometimes someone may not like, but I do have questions. And coming to the question of today's shlok, this shlok says about preaching Mahatmas and only Mahatmas. And your whole class was about preaching great people. But God is in everyone.
Mm.
God is in every living being. So even providing service to animals, providing service to parents, providing service to needy people, disadvantaged people, shouldn't that be also be considered in this slope, not just Mahatmas? So that's where my realization is. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I really appreciate you coming to the Bhagavatam class so regularly. In Bhagavatam, we should certainly, approach Bhagavatam with intelligence. So that is very nice. I appreciate that you have questions. But along with our intelligence, we should also Bhagavatam also says we should also approach Bhagavatam with Shraddha and humility. You know, so the mood can be, that I don't understand how this is true, that what Lord Rishabhdev, Supreme Personality of Godhead had himself is saying, I don't totally understand it. So how can this be true? Or how can I apply this in my life? So please help me understand. Yes, so Rishabhdev has given many instructions in this particular verse. Is talking about serving the Mahatmas, the devotees of the Lord who have undeviated devotion towards Him, to Supreme Personality of Godhead, and association with them is going to take us back to the Supreme Lord, because that is where their focus is. And as we said, our job is twofold. We have to take association of such Mahatmas who are devoted to Supreme Personality of Godhead and shelter in that. And our job is also to try to develop the qualities in those Mahatmas. Today we didn't have chance to talk about those 26 qualities of devotees, but yes, as you said, devotee is equal, samachitta, equal to all living entities. That includes animals also. So that word samachitta includes the answer to the question you have, that we should be equal and try to liberate every living being that we can by developing the qualities of Mahatma. So I think that the answer to yours is already there in the word samachitta. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. I remember a story of Sant Eknath, who fed his holy pot of holy water Ganga to a dying or thirsty donkey.
Mm.
He did not say, I'm going to take this to the Mahatma.
Yeah.
So that was my thinking of today's slok. Thank you.
Thank you,
Because
Prabhuji.
God is in everyone, whether devotee, non-devotee, whether Mahatma, non-Mahatma,
Yes.
whether old or young. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Bhavamayi. Such a
Mataji.
wonderful class. Thank you very much. The Prabhu was asking about. So there are two things in this, what he is talking about. Of
Yeah.
course, we have to serve each and every person, whether it's a living entity, whether they are human beings or animals or anything. That is called service. So we are doing service to everyone. But whereas the question of acquiring knowledge, in this verse particularly, Rishwadev is telling his sons actually to take the shelter of Mahatmas, because Mahatmas are one who will teach us how we can progress in our spiritual way. So these are two things: service to all, Suhrida Sarva Dehi Nam. So we are actually serving all of them. And you mentioned about that verse in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 3:25-21 is Titikshva Karunika Suhrida Sarva Dehi Nam Ajat Shatrva Shanta Sadhva Sadhu Bhushanam. So the meaning is, the symptoms of a sadhu are that he is tolerant, merciful, and friendly to all living entities. He has no enemies, he is peaceful, he abides by the scriptures, and all his characteristics are sublime. So that's how we have to understand actually that what is the difference between approaching the Mahatmas, but of course serving all the living entities. I just wanted to say thank you very much. Such a wonderful class. So much as for us to learn. And I actually take notes myself and I write the words. And then afterwards, when I get a time, then I will look into those verses. And that is the understanding. Just sitting in the morning, it's very good if we are listening to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. But at the end, actually, I can say I cannot remember everything. But taking some notes and then going back to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam or Bhagavad Gita, that is an important thing. That's how we can learn. Thank you very much again for all your hard work and bringing such a great knowledge to us. Thank you very much again. Always indebted to all the devotees giving Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you for sharing your very inspiring habit of making the notes. Yes, I know this is the time, when, parents like me, they're trying to rush doing so many things. But that's a very great habit, Mataji, that you take notes of the important points. So thank you, Mataji. Please keep inspiring us and please keep blessing us. Anyone else does have any questions, or it's already 8:45? We will wrap up.
But thank you very much for a nice class. I agree with the Mataji's taking notes and all that is very good practice.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you so much for inspiring us. Granth Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Mahapuran ki
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Her Grace Bhavamayi Dasi ki Jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you
Srila
so much.
Prabhupada ki Jai. All
Jai.
glories to devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Thank you
Hare
for joining
Krishna.
devotees. Hare Krishna.